number 2 of Rate My Ride. So the last video was pretty on the fly. I kind of just came up with a rating system of 1 to 10 fire emojis, and I realized after editing that video that I think I started a little too high. Not to knock any of the rides that we saw in the last video, but I just realized that I need to leave a little bit more room for a little bit more variation, because you had all really cool cars, but then I kind of got stuck at rating everybody at 7 because, you know, it was hard to find something that was like really amazing, you know, but also like I didn't feel like it deserved to be like lower, so I readjusted things a little bit. If you didn't see the first video, make sure you check it out. I had the adjusted ratings if you were like reading along as you were watching the video. But that being said, thank you to everybody who submitted their cars for the last video as well as this video, and let's go ahead and get into it and see what we have this week. Remember, I haven't opened any of these DMs already. Just like I did before, I want to be able to do this kind of live and give you my first honest impressions. But before we actually open up the new ones, MR2 VC sent over some extra details. So literally right after I finished editing the last video, he messaged me a mod list, which was dope because in the last video I was like, oh, I wish he sent more of a mod list. It's just unfortunate that I wasn't able to include it in that video. So for the record, we can see he had a 92 MR2, was originally NA, now 2nd gen, I assume 3S GTE. Rebuilt turbo, MR2 Heaven carbon fiber lip, intercooler pipes and upgraded intercooler, running a JDM SARD ECU, very cool. Burke exhaust and downpipe, Greddy Aero, 98 rep wing, okay. Definitely gives it like a clean look in the back. I like, it's very similar to the TRD one, so pretty cool. Carbon fiber Ask Sport engine lid, carbon fiber BRZ diffuser, okay, interesting. So he actually like modified one that was meant for the BRZ. I always find that kind of thing pretty cool and interesting. Let's see, boarded carbon fiber hood, canards, Volkta E37s, of course we saw that last time, Bomex Type 1 mirrors, Recaros, very nice, Momo steering wheel, again, always in favor of Momo steering wheels, and Teen Basics. Alright, cool. Well deserving of all those fire emojis that it got. In fact, with this mod list, I definitely bump it up at least half a fire emoji from last time. So thanks for submitting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the new ones. Our first one is from Automotive Anatomy. So if you don't know him, I've actually had the pleasure of being on his channel, and he has his own YouTube channel. He's focused mostly on Hondas, but he does all kinds of cars. He's really expanded. He takes a look at other people's cars, kind of does quick interviews with them. So really cool. I'll link his channel below, and he submitted his car here. So we have a Civic here that has been repainted gray, and his mod says leaky automatic tranny, crooked wheels, slow AF, sometimes it turns on. Alright, always has a good sense of humor. He's always cracking jokes. Thank you so much for submitting. I do appreciate it. And, you know, the car looks clean. You know, it's no secret that I'm not a huge fan of Hondas or automatics or that type of thing, but, you know, at least he has some humor and some good nature about it, and I like what he's done with it. So, you know, this is a good example that you can have like a pretty basic car or a car that isn't necessarily expensive, but you still take care of it. I know how much he loves this car, and he gave it a clean paint job. It's lowered nicely on some good wheels. He's got a high quality photo here, and you know, even though it's got problems, he's keeping it running, so props to you. I'm going to go ahead and give this 6.5 fire emojis. Okay, just above that we have what looks like another MR2. Yeah, so this is going to be a 1st gen MR2. Hey David, it would be awesome to see my A-dub mentioned in your channel. Here are all the specs. Okay, so he's got a 1st gen MR2. I have seen his car a couple times in person. This is a really nice 1st gen MR2. He has a lot of work into it. It's a 1989. Color is OEM dark pearl. Great looking color. Looks excellent. Engine says was done by ETL Motorsports, and it is a Bard Gen 2 3S GTE swap. So Gen 2 3S GTE swapped in is already cool. The fact that you got a Bard is really cool because, you know, it just saves a lot of problems. And let's see, drivetrain E153 with factory LSD. So again, great. He has the proper transmission mated to the engine, and even has an LSD in there. You know, even if it's just the factory one, still very cool. For cooling, wow, okay, he's really laid out a lot of details here, so we'll try and get through these quickly. Cooling, aluminum radiator, frozen Bruce. I can't even English at all today, can I? Starting over. Aluminum radiator, frozen boost, air to water kit. Awesome air to water. If I recall, I don't want to say this incorrectly if I'm wrong, but let me know. I believe you actually saw my air to water setup and then kind of got you thinking about this. But either way, even if you didn't, air to water, I highly recommend it. It's excellent setup, so props to you for doing that. So suspension specs, he's got matrix garage, WAT racing type C coilovers, not really familiar with those. Matrix garage rear tie rod, techno tuning front tension rod, Cusco front rear upper strut bars, TRD phase 2 alignment, polyurethane total bushings. Again, always a fan of getting those poly bushings. Moog inner and outer tie rods, front and rear ball joints. So he's got the suspension super nailed down. Brakes, Porterfield RS2 brake pads, definitely a quality brand there. Tecna SS brake lines, StopTech slotted rotors. Alright, wheels, Workmeisters in 15 7.5 by 15 8.5. Excellent wheels. I hear that a square setup is actually supposed to be the fastest setup for an AW11. Comment below if you think I'm wrong. But either way, these are some awesome looking wheels, and I think, you know, anytime you put a staggered setup on any generation of MR2, it's going to be pretty solid. For interior, he's got 350mm Momo. Okay, so again, Momo. Dude, you guys are rocking the Momo steering wheels. I'm liking it. Recaros and MR2 reproduction floor mats. Genuine MR2 floor mats are certainly hard to get at this point. Exterior, let's see, he's got some pin striping, UK front signals, JDM retractable side rear view mirrors, carbon fiber engine lid. Alright, well, thank you so much for giving me a detailed and extensive mod list. It will pull up his car bigger so you can see it. Looks like this is at Toyota Fest. I think he may have even won some awards at Toyota Fest, so awesome. There's a shot of his engine bay, looking nice. Snug fit in that AW11. And let's see, hopefully I make the cut. Dude, you definitely made the cut. Dude, interior looks super clean too. Alright, dude, your car is fire, I'm not gonna lie. This is easily one of the best AW11s I've seen. I'm gonna give this a solid 8 fire emojis. Okay, what else? Let's go to a request that I've got to approve here. This one is from James F007. Go ahead and accept his message. Wow, okay, another really extensive mod list here. But look at this, another car that isn't an MR2. I'm liking that we're seeing a little more diversity this time. So really sick shot here. We've got the sunlight coming through underneath the car. Very clean shot, I like that already. And let's take a look at this super long mod list. Performance. You know what, honestly, I'm not even going to read all of these, but let's just see if we can read some of the highlights. You can pause it if you want to read all the details. Looks like he's got some unequal length headers, probably trying to get some of that Subaru rumble. And he's got tuner house, front pipe, he's got a cat back, he's got front lip. What else? Blitz drop-in air filter, Blitz suction cup kit. Suction cup kit? Okay. TRD carbon fiber strut brace. That's awesome. Carbon fiber strut braces always look cool. Ferris engineering rear and lower control arms. Wow, dude, you're super modded. Tunehouse Racing Stage 2 ECU tech. Awesome. Definitely a solid ECU there. Race ROM dyno tune. And it looks like he's, oh wow, okay, I don't even know how to make this into American units because I don't know what kilowatts are and Newton meters. I can't convert them, but I'll have it here so you can see what that is. Got some Yokohama tires on there. Project Kick lug nuts, very nice. I like those. Got them on the MR2 myself. So many mods. This is like right down to all those small details. Looks like you're using high quality parts. Again, you got a fire picture on here. I also really like the FRS, and I think it's like a little bit underrated. And I think this is technically an GT86. Either way, awesome car, man. I'm gonna give this 7.5 fire emojis. Okay, another MR2. So this is from MR2 Rios Rico, and lots of pictures. We got a mod list. Let's go ahead and read off this mod list really quick first, and then we'll go ahead and look at some of the more of the pictures. So gram light 17x9 and 18x10. Okay, so he's got a double staggered setup. He's got some sway bars. Doesn't mention what brand there, but that's good. Let's see. Got some coilovers, bucket seat, poly bushings. Points for that already. Carbon fiber trunk, carbon fiber hood. 95 taillights, Greddy exhaust, liking that you're rocking a legit Greddy exhaust, Gen 3, 3SGTE, and JDM turns. Okay, so this is like not super extensive, but looks like he's got some really solid stuff. So, you know, gram lights are a solid wheel. It's one of those great kind of bang for your buck type of wheels. And he's got some carbon fiber. I like that he's kind of balanced it out with having some on the trunk as well as on the hood. There's that bucket seat he's talking about. I think here's one from MR2 Assemble, probably a couple of years ago. It's got that like extended whale tail kind of spoiler. I'm not personally a big fan of that, but it's a unique look. The clear rear corners, and I like this last picture here, or technically the first picture, but the last one we're looking at. Alright, cool. Looks like, again, you know, kind of a simple setup with just some good, solid mods on there, and I'd like to thank you for submitting, and I'm going to give this 6.5 fire emojis. Okay, this is going to be our last one, Mr. Deuce, and it looks like he didn't actually send me any pictures, so let's go ahead and just pop over to his profile really quick and take a look. So here he's got a white Gen 1 MR2. Looks clean and simple. And let's take a look at the mod list. So he said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the AW11. Well, here are my thoughts on it. So build spec. Custom Watt Racing coilover suspension, poly bushings. Man, I'm liking that everyone's doing the poly bushings. Quaife quick steering rack. Very cool. Some of the older cars can have like really long turning radius. I'm not sure that's the right way of saying that, but you have to turn it a lot to get it to turn at all, especially if it's a manual rack. Oftentimes it's even more, which is, side note, a lot of times people want to go for like manual everything and they'll get a manual rack on the SW20, but I actually prefer the power steering rack because I feel like it still has great steering feel if you have things like the poly bushings, and it's actually a quicker rack. But anyway, that's off on that tangent. Another Momo wheel, TRD semi buckets, very cool. I like that. He's got some TRD 16 by 7.5. I didn't see that in the picture. Let's see, what else? Custom carbon JDM, custom carbon engine lid, suede interior, Tom's Repo engine scoop. Okay. And my transmission. Alright, so when I switched over to my transmission, he actually bought my S54, so that's cool. And Bard 3SGTE 94 turbo. Okay, so very cool, very cool. I think his car is still being worked on, so that's probably why he didn't send me a current picture. It's hard for me to rate the car because it's not really done, right? Let's go back, pull it up here. But definitely have some solid plans for it. I'm really excited to hear about it when it's actually finished. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 7 fire emojis. I feel like this is really solid, but I don't know, could be more, could be less, depending on how this actually turns out in the end. I'm liking that we got a little bit more diversity this time. Of course, not hating on the MR2. I love the MR2, and I'd like to see more of my followers, cars that are fellow MR2 owners, but it's good to mix it up, see some other things, and hopefully you guys appreciate that as well. And I feel like, especially as you mature as a car enthusiast, initially you might start out really liking one specific car or one particular type of setup, but you kind of learn to appreciate more and more things the more cars you get exposed to and the more things you try personally. So, that kind of goes for life in general, but I think it's great to kind of expand your taste and kind of try different things. So thank you again to everyone who did submit. If you haven't already, please give me a subscription, like this video. You can bless me with a good YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate all of you watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.